We should be getting audio. Hopefully we're getting audio. Let me flip this camera around. So this is what we're working on tonight. And I'm going to go live until I run out of power on the phone. So I know you guys ain't showing up yet. I'm going to address comments and sections. But for those of you that are watching this later on, this is what we're doing. I'm building this. Building this out to fit these two blocks. This is a temporary mount because I'm going to be mounting it on my wall, but I want the blocks to be in the right spot to force me to do things the correct way in the end. And the best way to do that is to have everything mounted down where I have no choice but to do it the correct way. I see there's a couple people in here, so getting to the comments is tricky on this, going live in a horizontal mode, but you guys complained the last time I went vertical, so you're going to have to bear with me. Now what I'm doing here is I've got the two on the bottom, and well, okay. All right, so to fill you in on what's happening, these two guys and these two guys are grounds. The two on the outside on both amps are positives. Obviously, we're running them to here. This block, I'm going to cut out the bottom section so I can run power wires from underneath, or ground wires from underneath to get to the ground, and then power wires are running on top, of course. So, but that ain't nothing to worry about. The positioning is everything, because this block is going to change completely, and it's not going to be mounted on this board either. And right now, I'm just going to build wires to do this job. So, I'm thinking about running my two grounds from the battery to here, my two positives on this side, because the battery is down here, the positive is over here, and the ground is over here. So I'm going to leave those, well, I'm not going to leave them blank, but just the thing. I'm also going to be running the power and the ground off of this over this way for another amplifier. It'll run underneath the cover though, so they'll just kind of pop out over here. And what I'm going to try to do is work with the scrap that I have, because obviously it's going to make things less expensive if I use it. So I'm going to start with the shortest wire, the shortest ground, and see where I can get the furthest out of it. And again, the outsides are grounds and the insides, the middle ones are positive. So I could run from here to here. This will actually work. When I figure out one wire that's going to work, I can make the other wires to match. And then the ground over here will come out and go there and there. And that'll look pretty good. So this actually is a pretty good length for that top one. I like the way that looks. That's got enough room to come down and kind of kink over. So we can probably work with that. Can I make it a little bit shorter? Because I'm going to put some, I'm going to be putting some sleeves on there like these guys. And so I need a clean wire to be able to get those on there. And I'm thinking I might be able to make that work. If I had to shorten it just to the absolute minimum, I believe we can work with that. Let's see if I can see any comments. I can't see any comments. I don't know what's going on with the comments. Let's see here. What's that button do? Okay. All right. That's interesting. That makes highlights. Now what's this button down here do? There we go. Live chat. All right, cool. Now I see there's nobody commenting. Guys, if you're in the chat, somebody leave me a comment so I can see if it's working or not. I'll come back and check here in a minute. Because again, I'm trying to do this, a thing. I'm doing a thing. If I cut that short, I believe it'll work. Because we're going down here, not like up here. So I think we can do that. We're going to need to do some cutting and some work on this wire. I got to cut this off to the side so I don't sprinkle copper wire all over the place, because that's what happens when you cut this stuff, especially when you've already got a piece cut off. Now I usually use a pair of strippers that I can't find right now, so I'm going to be using a knife instead. And I want my cut to be appropriate for the ferrule. So we're just going to cut it like this and do the best we can to make it as neat as possible. And I would have been shooting all this on a video, but I mentioned that I was going to go live on Fridays, just because Andy's taking the summer off from Fridays. And you guys have kind of gotten used to the Friday thing. Oh yeah, we got 2 sleeves. This is the GP America Series wire. So it actually has 2 jackets. This stuff is really, really good wire. That's why I'm using it. I love using this wire. I also like the diamond wire. I don't have enough of that handy to do the job. So we're going to be working with the America Series wire. I didn't get all of that in there, but I got 99% of it in there. And that was enough. Yeah, see, that's going to work out great. Let's see if I can see any comments. Again, comments are tricky. Okay, J-Dog. What's up, J-Dog? I got a thumbs up from J-Dog. That's cool. Awesome. Now I can see that I can read comments. I can't see them live because I'm over here doing stuff. I hope my audio is coming through. It should be. So we got the video on getting this all put together will be coming up. Be going live probably tonight, late tonight or tomorrow. So if you want to see how this all started out, that's where that can be found. But and I would have compiled it all together, but again, I'm trying to do a live show tonight. So we're going to make this a ground, which means we're going to need black heat shrink. Now, these ferrules, when you put them in to the amplifier, I got it good, look at that, all the way through. When you put them in and set the screw in, it bites down on here, so they work out real good. But prior to that, I like to have a little bit of heat shrink on them. And ain't got to do much, but we need some. I don't have a lot of black heat shrink, so I've got a couple of few pieces of installed gear heat shrink in there. Got quite a bit of red, but not a lot of black, so I'm gonna have to, I need at least 4 black connections on that end and 4 on this end. Now, I'm using, I've already tested, this isn't going to be a thing, but I've got 2 blacks there, so I need 6. I need to get 6 out of this heat shrink to make them match up. And I believe I can get 3 and 3 out of here. I'd rather make it 2 and 2, but I believe we can get 3 out of here and have it look okay. So let's just do that. There's 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes, when you when you're doing stuff, you gotta think things through and work with what you got. So that'll work real good. Now I need one of those. I'm going to do a little bit of this work on the live. Um, I'm not going to do it all on the live because whenever you guys start piling in and asking questions, I'm going to get distracted. And I can't work and answer questions. I can't see that thing. So what you want to do is come out here until your heat shrink is a little bit past your ferrule. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I like to let it go in a little bit, maybe a little bit less than a 1/4 inch or so. I hope this heat shrink will draw up enough. I think it will. This is good heat shrink too. I get this stuff off the internet, and it isn't like it doesn't have a logo on it, but this heat shrink has got this wonderful glue inside of it, and it's thick. All right. Is there sound now? Because that was a mess. And I apologize for any of y'all that didn't have sound. I had my wireless kit on, but I don't know. Do y'all have sound now? Let me check here. Do we have sound? Somebody put it in the chat. All right, cool. Sorry about that, man. I wish you'd have told me earlier. If y'all would have said that earlier, I would have addressed it. I had no idea. Doing these things like this is kind of spontaneous, but it is what it is. So thank you for telling me there was no sound, and I apologize for that. But there ain't no way to take it back. So you can see what I got going on here. We're going to set these in here and have a look at them. I'm just going to back the screws off, and I'm doing this whole thing carefully, taking my time and making it as right as I can, because in the end you're going to be your worst critic, right? If you look at it and go, well, that's almost perfect but not quite, it will bug you to death. It will absolutely drive you crazy. So take your time and get everything as right as you can, and then later on you'll appreciate that yourself. That's going to work, but I got to get that ferrule bolted down before I do that, or we're going to wind up exposing copper. So that looks good. We got those two figured out. Now we can move on to the next ones. The next ones are probably going to be the bottom two grounds, and they're going to be shorties. And I hate cutting wire. I really hate cutting wire. But I have no choice in the matter. I hate being wasteful. Oh my God, I hate it. I don't even know how. I've beat this into my head so severely that I just absolutely detest cutting off a piece of wire, because it becomes worthless, and that chunk becomes worthless. It just drives me crazy. So I have this screwed down here so that I can get the idea of what I'm doing. This is going to be a nice straight run, straight over, which is cool, but also aggravating, because actually we're going to go to one of these other ones, but it's also aggravating because you have to get the length perfect when you're doing a straight run. There's no flexibility in how long that can be. Can you say hello to my grandmother Gina side? Hello, grandmother Gina. Let's see here. That's from Adam. El Fuego, hello. What's up, El Fuego? He's in the hospital and he showed up. I'm glad to hear this. Oh, I did have sound before. Okay, so the sound thing broke. All right. El Fuego, glad to see you in the house, my friend. Let's see here. Can you say hello to my grandmother Gina side? Yeah, that's from Adam, yes. Eddie says, I hear you, efficiency is the way. For real, man. I just can't stand cutting wire off. I don't like cutting any wire. Because then once I do this, this piece is essentially useless. Now, I can make one piece out of two, but then I'm using extra lugs. So yeah, it's just like that. That's the way it is. So we're going to work with these two, and I'm going to trim these pieces down. I'm going to trim these heat shrinks off of here, because the black is a little bit smaller and probably won't cover very well. And I had trimmed that one a little bit short when I made that one, but it'll work just fine. I trimmed that insulation back a little bit too far. All right, now we'll get her down to where we've got the basics. So what we're doing here is going to create a cable that runs from here to there. Boy, that's tricky. That's going to be so tricky. I'm thinking about right there is going to be right. Let me look at that again. I don't trust myself. Yeah. Yeah, about right there where my thumbnail is. So here's crossing our fingers and hoping this works, because I really don't know. I'm cutting it about an 1/8 inch longer than what I measured. Because it's better to be a little bit long. Yeah, that's going to be perfect right there. Pretty sure that's going to work out great. So before I do anything else, I'm going to trim this other one to match it, because I want them to match regardless. Get those the same, and then we'll thumbnail that one. And this time I'm going to cut it right on my thumbnail without cutting my thumbnail. Now we should have two that are the same. That looks good. That looks real good. Alright, we'll do some stripping and some lugging. Got it. Well, no, we ain't doing lugs on that one. Let's see what's going on in the chat real quick. Alright. Nobody's added anything to the chat. We're going to do some whatchamacallits on here. Oh yeah, no. These aren't my good cutters. My good cutters I can actually strip with them. These are a little sketch. They're really cool though, because these cutters can cut small wires and big wires. They're really handy to grab. You know, if you got to grab something and do a whole lot of stuff with it, they're kind of the right cutter for that. Because they can pretty much do whatever. It's hard to believe all that wire fits in that ferrule, isn't it? It's crazy. But they're pretty good at doing that stuff. They're just not the best for cutting large wire. I got a pair of cheap Amazon cutters that have like a hook shape on the end of them, and they are so good. So good, and I cannot find them for nothing right now. They'll turn up when I get done, because that's how that works. They will turn up. There we go. Alright, let's not do too much of a twist, because that could be a problem. Got my ferrule ready. Just a little tiny bit of a twist. Let that stray piece of copper fall out of there. We'll get this ferrule on here. Yeah, baby, that looks good. I hit another home run. Look at that, right on the end. It's perfect. Perfect. Man, I'm batting 1,000 tonight. Holy cow. I mean, it looks like I'll cut that off after I put the ferrule on, huh? Let's see here. Slip this bad boy on. Yes, I had to think about it. Did I have enough? Yeah, 2 of those and then 2 for the other side. Okay, I do. I keep checking myself, because I'm assuming I'm doing something stupid. Because me. Always assuming I'm doing something stupid. But adding the heat shrink, not only does it hold the ferrule on until you get it crimped, But it also makes it look better. It just looks clean. And it makes sure that any little strays that you might have missed stay insulated and doesn't get all up in the business. And this piece right here doesn't like to shrink up tight, so I usually take my finger or something and just kind of make sure it's pushed up as good as I can get it. And we'll do the other one the same way. And those are some short little wires, huh? That's how long it needs to be, though. They're just little stubby guys. All right, you know, stubby guys get it done too. That's the wrong one. And I counted ahead of time to make sure I have at least 8 of these. And I actually had like 10 or 12, so okay. Get our measurements here. My finger just cramped up on me, so now I lost what I was doing. Man, when you get old and your body parts stop working properly, that sucks. Alright. I know this isn't one of those cool shows that Andy does with lots of bells and whistles and all the cool songs and Cookie Monster kicking over there to the side. I may have cut this one a little bit long. We can fix it. But this is me honest. This is an honest stream. So I understand if you guys tune out and go find something more entertaining to watch, like, oh yeah, I definitely cut that one a little bit short. Like a couple of kittens, fighting outside of their litter box or something, because I'd be totally watching that stuff. I dig it. Well, I was batting 1,000 and then I went and did that. But we can fake that. Nobody will know, because I can just run my heat shrink out far enough to cover it. It will work just fine. Nobody's going to know, right? You guys aren't going to tell anyone. We'll just suck that right up there and suck it up on there. I don't want to have any extra copper hanging out the end, because that causes issues when you're trying to put it in. You want just enough, not too much. And trust me, I ain't going to tell nobody about that. I might have went a little bit too far there. I think we'll be okay. You know what? This heat gun is hot. Imagine that. It gets hot up in here. Up in here. Let's do our other ends here. We'll have our grounds finished. Then we can start figuring out the positive ones. I know this is exciting. It's like watching 2 flies procreate. This is what we're doing. Did I mention this is hot? Yeah, it's hot, man. And of course I'm using it on high, so there's even that, There we go. Now we've got one more to do. Let me check the chat and see what's going on in the chat. See if you guys are asking any questions. I see there's not many people watching, but I love every one of you guys that are watching. Nope. We ain't done anything different. Still running the same. If I'm missing some chat for some reason, this is what happens. And like I said, we're going to go until we run out of battery, and I hope I have audio still. Thank you guys appreciate you for smacking that like button. because if you like it, that helps it get pushed out to more people, and we'll get some more people on the channel, on the chat, watching the live. Like is very important. But yeah, we're working on it today. We're going to fix this. Yeah, we got plenty of extra room there. Alright, let's put that hot thing on my fingers again. At least the other end's not hot. It was on that first one. Good times. Yeah, see, that heat shrink fixes everything, man. Makes it all better. You want to get it good and hot so that glue has a chance to melt and sit around that wire, and the glue will actually create a watertight seal between to keep water from being able to get into this jacket. So whenever you're working on something, car audio wires, always consider that humidity, you know, is rough on copper. But if you're using aluminum, it's even worse than that, because aluminum, especially in areas where you have salt water, corrodes so badly. And so you want to protect that wire and keep any salt water or any humidity on the coast, especially. You want to keep that humidity out of that wire, or else you're going to wind up with a big green gob of goop and short circuits and blown fuses and blown up equipment and all sorts of things. This is why I don't use aluminum in my build, is because it just doesn't handle this environment very well. And when it fails, it takes equipment with it. And I don't like blowing my shit up. I like my stuff to last, you know? I like to take care of my gear. Alright, so now we have these two guys. And they look like they're going to fit perfectly. And we got the long ones for the top. So now we're down to power wires. Whew, my leg's getting numb on me. See what you guys are doing over here. Chat. Nobody's talking. Nobody's talking. Nobody's talking. Nobody. Y'all got me running back and forth for no reason. See, that's what happens whenever you do it that way. All right. Now I know the background noise is horrendous. That's because it's like 160 degrees outside, and the air conditioner over there just absolutely is working itself to death trying to get that temperature down on the inside. So now we got 3 ends here to work with that are already made up. I got the stuff to make more ends. I was trying to avoid, again, I don't like cutting wire. But here's a tip though. If you need both ends of a wire like this, or let's say you're making 2 runs running somewhere, make your runs and then cut there, because then you leave one longer piece of wire. If you cut these in 2 and then you end up trimming off the leftovers, you end up with 2 short pieces of wire. But if you run it as a double like this, you end up with 1 long piece of wire, and it's far more useful. Think about things like that when you're running wire, and you save the wire, man. Save the wire, because the world's only going to have so many wires. And this here's a GP, in case you guys are wondering. This is the GP Car Audio America Series wire. It's the same wire they use in the cell phone towers to hook up all the battery banks. And the military is using this wire in the military towers they set up. They use this exclusively from GP Car Audio because of its protective grades. Again, it's got double jackets. So it's got an adhesive, I mean not an adhesive, but an abrasion jacket and an impact or thermal jacket. Both of these two jackets protect your wire and keep that wire from coming into contact with things it shouldn't be coming into contact with. It's the only wire on the market that I'm aware of that has a double jacket like this. And that's why the military uses it exclusively. And I don't have any kind of deals with GP Car Audio. I do know Tyler. They're located close to me, but we don't have any kind of deals going. So what I'm telling you is just straight up, if you want really good wire, the GP America series is going to be about the best you're going to buy anywhere. I'd put it up against anything on the market. And the diamond edition doesn't have the double jacket. This is the diamond wire here. But look at that. It's got a monstrously thick jacket and really high strand content. This stuff here is awesome. The diamond edition GP wire. Diet Coke time. Did I mention it's 160 degrees out here? Yes, it's dark, but it's still hot. All right, enough jibber jabber. I got to make 2 wires. So since this piece is nice and long, and it really doesn't matter because I'm gonna yeah. God, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Let's figure out how long of a piece we need. How long these 2 pieces need to be to make this jump over here. I guess it doesn't matter again which one I go to first, because I'm going to be having to create. I'm going to have to cut that one down and make a wire, and then make another wire. So yeah. All right. Positive's going to be on the left side, which doesn't matter again. I'm just stupid proofing my brain, man, because if you're not thinking about it multiple times, you're missing something. Now the next question is, do I want the wire to kind of come down like that? I think I do. So I guess I need to thumbnail it right there. We'll cut this piece and then we'll use this piece to measure the other piece. I hate cutting this wire. I'm going to add about 1/8 of an inch to that measurement. Maybe a little more. That's not working. Come on. Hands. Ah. This stuff is hard to cut. Again, that double thick insulation is tough stuff to cut through. See that? We'll keep like that and go in like that. That's going to look good. So now we need another one just like this. Oh, that's got a different, it's got that big heavy duty plug on it. But it'll be okay, it's going to be underneath the cover anyway. And I am going to be replacing the GP logo because I only have one of those. I'd love to run all GP heat shrinks, but I just don't have any in stock. So we're going to cut that bad boy right there. Here goes another piece of wasted wire. Freaking hideous, man. Hurts my freaking soul. It really does. You guys don't understand. I need this. My hands get tired. Oh crap, that's hard to cut. Alright, did we get that right or did I screw it up? It looks pretty good to me. Call it 2 grooves. Whew! Son! Let's go over here and take a peek and see what's going on in the chat. We got a few more people joining us. Got a few more likes. Guys, slam that like button. Alright. Let's see what's going on here. Jason showed up. Jason said, "Hey Fuego, how you doing, man?" I am glad to see Fuego in the chat. Fuego is the man. from the Pacific Northwest. Joe Berserker showed up, said late to the party. Dang. Oh, it's all good, man. We're just cutting wires and making wires. I'm checking the chat every few minutes, and you guys leave me a message in there, and I'll respond to it whenever I check it. If you see me doing something stupid, it's probably going to be too late. Let's trim this down and make it look like this one, because we can't have that. And then we'll also need to do the other end. And I've got some red ones, I just don't have very much black. I want to get this one off of here. Oh, there's another one underneath it. Does that one match? I'll just let that bump. Yeah, that looks perfectly fine, doesn't it? Okay, so now we're good to go on that. Let's, I want these to behave the same way. Let's do the other ends. So just like we did last time, we'll grab our ferrule. As soon as I'm kind of blinded by this light. I have the light in position so that you guys will be able to see what's going on, and so I can see the table also. Let me reposition this just a little bit. But it's also in my eyes. I'm trying to look at the small stuff. So, put that about right. It looks a little bit short, so I'm going to go back this way a little bit. I'd rather have it just a touch long as short. Because if it's long, we can just kind of move the ferrule out a little bit. But if it's short, we'll wind up with ferrule at the end with no wire. That sucks. Alright. Let's see here. There we go. Now we'll see if we can get another one of these. We just keep hitting them. We just keep getting lucky and getting these ferrules on here. This is a lot of wire to fit in this ferrule. I think we got it all. Well, we got like 2 or 3 strands in there. They'll be fine. Look at that. That's brilliant. Right on the money. Perfect length. Got a couple of strays here. Got one stray. A little cut there, fix that. Let's see what we got. That is, these are not the droids I was looking for. Alright, these will work. If we have to use any off-color ones, we can put those in the bottom. Alright, so this kit, guys, this kit right here, if you're looking for alt gauge stuff, alright, and you want connectors, and I'm on camera, I hope so, you want connectors and heat shrinks, the whole kit and caboodle. This comes with 10 pieces of alt gauge and 5 red and 5 black. So it gives you 10 of the deals and 5 red and 5 black. Find this on Amazon. These things are awesome. I use the crap out of these. They're my go-to because they usually have enough heat shrink for me to do whatever I'm doing. And I think they're like 10 bucks a box. So that's ridiculously good price. Oh, I gotta take a break. My neck's starting to hurt. I get into muscle failure pretty bad, pretty quickly, because my heart doesn't keep up with what I'm trying to do. Let's see if there's any messages for me to read. Bobby B's in the house. All right, Jason said, are those amp brackets going to work? Well, you see I got the amps on them. It's going to be tight. Very, very, very tight. What's up, Bobby B? So, yeah, I measured them. this is all in the video that I shot earlier, but I did, you'll see what I did, but I measured them, and we're gonna have like between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch of clearance on the other end, but on the top of the amps where the window rolls up, it's going to be super duper close. But I'm hoping they're going to work. Right now I got this board isn't going in there, by the way. This is just to help me get everything in position so that I get my wires right. What's going to happen here is this block or one similar to it will be going in, but I'm also going to cut out the bottom part so that I have room to run wires underneath the block. So there'll be a little feet on each end, and then across the top it'll be like that. It'll be going in so that my positives are sitting up higher than my negatives. But that's basically how it's going to go in. This board can't go in because I don't have enough room. Even 1/4 inch amp board going in would be too thick, and I would wind up hitting the window. It's very damn tight. Let me grab my drink here, and we're going to take a little break over here in the easy chair and answer your guys' questions that you guys put up. Let me switch the camera around and adjust my light a little bit so that we got some light. Okay, I'm going to take a break. Oh, God. Oh, bear with me, guys. Bear with me. The world is not coming to an end. I promise. It's not. Well, not today anyway. Maybe tomorrow. If all the cats knock everything off the edge of the flat world, then we're in trouble. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the cats to knock everything off. We're going to have a cigarette and a sit down. Hoo-wee. See what we got at upgrade time. Love the progress. Play it and live it. What's up, man? Jason said, I think if you cut that bottom lip off the bracket, the bottom amp could screw to the wood, then you could bend a new mounting lip, basically bringing both amps tighter together. Yeah, I could do that. And I considered it, actually. I considered making a custom bracket. But, oh, man. Muscle failure sucks, guys. Have any of you guys been in the military? 'Cause I'm ex-military. And I smoked through basic training, by the way. Just so you guys know, I've been smoking since I was like 11 years old. And yeah, I used to sneak off over to the AIT barracks when I was in basic. The AIT barracks was right next door to the basic training area. And I'd sneak over there and blend in with those AIT guys, and they were allowed to smoke. So I was over there smoking and stuff. You know, I had it going on, dude. I was devious as hell. When I was in basic training, I was devious. Never got caught smoking. Oh, I'll tell you guys a cool story. Probably the best one of all of my basic training stories. So, I was out sneaking around doing what I do normally. Me and another guy, we were both sneaking around. What was that? Private Chelsea, I think was his last name. Chelsea or something like that. Anyway, we were at the PX, and we had a hot food bar, like a pizza. They had pizzas, they had cheeseburgers, and all that kind of shit. And I snuck out to the PX, the little hot food area, the little restaurant, and I was in line to get a couple pieces of pizza. So I'm standing there in line, and I'm just kind of waiting because the line's not moving all that fast. And I'm wearing my PT clothes, which are a t-shirt and my shorts, wearing PT clothes. It's all the clothes I had besides my, my BDUs.
So I'm wearing my PT clothes, and I look around behind me, directly behind me in line was Drill Sergeant Thomas, our drill sergeant. Not just one of the 8, was it 8 drill sergeants for our battery, but literally our platoon. We had 2 platoon drill sergeants. And Drill Sergeant Thomas, the one who did not like me, was literally standing behind me in this line. So I'm like, shit. And but fortunately, you know, me being a bald-headed white dude, 6 foot tall, you know, 170, 180 pounds, I look like every other bald-headed white dude. And as long as I didn't look at him in the face and get his attention, I figured I'd be okay. And I did. I got my pizza, went over there to the back corner, and sat down with my back facing the room and had my pizza. And I didn't get caught. But holy crap, dude, I about shit my pants when I saw him behind me. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. Yeah, smoke break, baby. Let's see, Play It Live It said, I was telling you that I was going to upgrade soon. Yeah. That I was going to upgrade soon, yeah. Oh, always, man. Basehead, it's a basehead thing. Joe Berserker said, Army Artillery, yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. You nailed it, man. I worked on, shit, I can't even remember on my MOS right now. A 45D10, self-propelled field artillery turret mechanic. We worked on the 109s and the 110s a little bit, and the 105s a little bit, but mainly the 109s. And for those of you non-military people, the 109 howitzer is the howitzer that kind of looks like a tank. It's got a cab, a covered turret, and a big old long barrel. It's the one that they primarily use on the battlefield now. They don't use the 110. The 110 is just a bigger version, but it's got an open cab, and it's like a bulldozer with a cannon barrel on it. It's very open and very unprotected. Mainly they use the 109s. The 105 is a towed howitzer. You put it behind a Jeep or whatever, or a Hummer, and drag it around. But they hardly ever use those either. So it's the 109 is the one everybody wants to use. And I was the turret mechanic, so I worked on everything from the tractor, the part that actually drove the thing. I worked on everything up from there. And we were cross-trained on the tractor as well, so we could work on that and effectively, but it definitely wasn't my job. We worked on the hydraulic systems, the pre-charged nitrogen system, the electrical system, because you have brushes around that ring, that race that runs around that ring to allow that turret to turn and to be able to communicate power and signals between the tractor and the turret. You had these little races and little brushes that would follow those races and communicate. And funny thing about those is they required a ton of maintenance to keep them up, but at the same time, they were absolutely bulletproof in the battlefield. They never failed in the battlefield. They were just so overbuilt. Those brushes are like a ½ inch wide, and there's like probably a ½ inch of extra copper that you don't need that's ready to be pushed into that race to make connections. They're really stupidly overbuilt. But at the same time, the tolerances we had to maintain were very, very tight, and they had to be constantly checked on. And so when you're not in battle, working on those things on a constant basis, rebuilding those brushes and putting brand new ones in. But in battle, they were absolutely indestructible. They worked really well. I took a lot of pride in my job, and a lot of the stuff that I learned in there, I do here. A lot of this is the same stuff. They use the same big old heavy gauge wires. I don't have a pre-charged nitrogen tank with, 8,000 pounds of pre-charged nitrogen hanging over the back of my head, ready to explode. So yeah, so you got this cannon tube, right? It weighs 11 tons. that tube that goes up and down, 11 tons, okay? It's mounted almost at one end in this howitzer. So your hydraulic system, picking that sucker up and setting it down, obviously can't provide the power to lift that 11-ton tube. So you have a canister with precharged nitrogen canister. It's basically an air tank, and it's working an air shock, kind of like the ones on the back of your trunk of your car or on the back of a Tahoe. It has something like that. It's a helper. And that allows all but about 200 or so pounds of that cannon tube's weight to be lifted by that hydraulic shock. So whenever you hit the hydraulics, you can pick the tube up real quick and easy because it's already getting, almost all that weight is being picked up by that precharged nitrogen canister. It's so well dialed in that if the cannon tube is not in travel lock, you could get out on the end of that cannon tube and pick it up. A person can. You can lift it a little bit because there's other stuff in the way that stop it from going up much. But you can pick it up. You can pick the weight up. It's very neat. The downside is that precharged nitrogen canister is not charged exactly at the right amount of pressure. Then the cannon tube won't lift up. It'll fall. Or if the precharged nitrogen canister fails, all of a sudden you put 11 tons of pressure on the hydraulic system. It's designed for a couple hundred pounds of pressure. And it's not hidden behind anything. That hydraulic system is right in your face when you're inside this thing. So if that nitrogen canister fails and that tube all of a sudden puts 11 tons of pressure on that hydraulic system, you all of a sudden have 11 tons of pressure behind all this hydraulic fluid that busts out of its lines and connectors and is spraying inside this howitzer with 11 tons of pressure on it, and it will fillet the meat right off the bones of the people that are inside this howitzer. It is an absolutely catastrophic and all-encompassing 100% death rate for everybody inside the howitzer. You do not want to be in there if that nitrogen canister fails. You're not going to come out and talk about it. They're going to take you out in pieces. Yeah, it's bad. It's like super bad. I can't believe it would never, that design would never work in outside the civilian world because it's epically dangerous, but very effective. 109 doesn't look like a little tank. Yeah. 13 Bravo, Cannon Crewman. Oh yeah, 13 Bravos. Yeah, Cannon Cocker. Paladin 109 A6, absolutely. Where are we going? Let's go back here. Smoke cigarettes. Battery. You were at SEAL. Yep, absolutely. Alpha battery, second. Is it second? Is it first and 31st? Or, because I get the two of them mixed up. Which ones that I did basic and AIT? There were two different ones. First and 31st. Yeah, you know. If you knew I was at Fort Sill, you'd know things. That's cool. I want to say first and 31st. Let's go back a little more. Army Artillery. Yeah, okay. Joe Berserker, yeah. Apparently you've been there too. Smoke them cigarettes, yeah. Second 80th. See, that was one of them. Oh, you were there. That's the other one. First and 31st and second 80th. I was there, man. I don't remember if that was the basic training one or the AIT one. It's been a couple of years ago. So there's that. Holy crap, you know all about my story then. You know exactly where all this stuff is. Safety release valve to direct the output. No, because safety release valves are failure points. Hopefully you got what the nitrogen was for. The nitrogen essentially was an air tank that assisted to hold up the tube. I already explained that, but I probably missed when you asked that question. You probably asked it before I explained it. Yeah, 2nd and 80th and 1st and 31st. Some of my drill sergeants that I remember was Drill Sergeant Dewberry, my favorite drill sergeant. He was an ex-boxer. It was his last cycle. And Drill Sergeant Thomas, he was in the middle of his time as a drill sergeant. Then there was Drill Sergeant Camacho, and I can't remember the other ones. There were other. Drill Sergeant Camacho was like first platoon, I think. I was 2nd platoon, the Mad Dogs. And we actually won all of the banners for that. We actually won. It's absolutely comprehend everything. We won all the banners for our cycle except for one. And the 1st platoon won one banner, and I think it was it the COC? I don't remember. Anyway, this has been, like I said, a couple of years ago. So let's get back to work. You guys are awesome. Love these likes. There's 12 people in here and 13 likes. I love it. If you hadn't already smashed a like, smash the damn like. It's just a little button. Just hit the button. Hit it. Because stuff. And if it ain't gonna build itself, let's get back to work. I'm tired. Sitting made me tired of. I'm gonna give you guys a. Oh, you don't want that, do you? Hold on a minute. Let's get back to work. Come on, where that button at? There it goes. I don't know what battery percentage we are, but we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna leave this set up about like this, and I'm gonna turn the light around here. You guys can kind of see what's going on. I'm not gonna re-extend the legs. I'll crank the cranky thing. If you feel like I got you around the neck and I'm picking you up by your neck, that's what's happening. If you guys ain't subscribed yet, you should be, because we're always up to cool stuff. I'm glad to meet somebody that's that went through some of the same crazy shit I went through back in the day. I'm looking at the holes. Back in the day, that was I want to say, what year was that? I think it was in 1989. It was right before first war broke out. Was it Desert Storm? I don't think it was Desert Storm. It was it might have been. I can't remember. That's when I was in basic. Fun times, man. All right. Let's see if we can get this sucker on here. Yeah, I've got a colored history, man. Colorful history. With lots of things in my life that have, I've done a lot of stuff. A lot of things that you guys will just be kind of mind blown about. Like how many musicians and performers I've met. That kind of blows my mind. Let's see, we got 2 there. So I got 2 here. And I need, I'm going to be short. I'm going to have to use 2 of these install gear ones. I'll use them on the bottom though. Yeah, they won't make those. We'll just work with what we got. But I've met tons of musicians working at Branson. I worked for Shoji Tabuchi for most of the season. Worked as a stagehand. Did all kinds of cool stuff. Worked for Bart Rocket, a magician in Branson. Worked for Sean Paul and Julianne. They were also magicians. Worked for Kirby Van Birch.
for a while. I worked for Gregory Popovich and his comedy pet theater he had going on. He didn't speak a word of English. You can find him on YouTube all over the place. He's on Johnny Carson or Letterman and all that. He's on all those. But that guy, man, he was amazing with what he did with animals. And he only, all of his animals were rescues, every single one. He'd go to shelters and pick out cats and dogs and train them and put them in his act. And he took very extremely good care of all of his animals. So those animals went from having a situation where their life was about to end to having a very good life, doing cool stuff. So that's that one, essentially, in a nutshell. And then we got 2 more to build, and I don't think they're going to be as long as these. I want to see, kind of look at it. Yeah, we're going to have to make these shorter. I was thinking maybe they might be able to kind of do a funky shape. But this is the ones where we're going to be building from scratch. I got one part of one that I can work with. All the rest is going to be built from scratch. Yeah, I got my crimper out here ready to go. So we got these 2. They go to the top. That's most of the wires. One fell off. Okay. So now we got 2 more to build. Total of 8. And these are going to go down here to the center, to the bottom. Getting that figured out is going to be tricky. It also depends on where I put the wires at, so I think I'm going to put them right here. Thinking this will probably work right here. It's kind of a guessing game on the first wire. After you get the first wire, then you can use it to make the others and things work. But that first wire is a tricky bit. We're going to cut this on the board. My hand again, muscle failure, and I don't have the strength I used to have either. So that is hard to cut, but it cuts clean though. So there's that. So this should. Oh no! Oh wait, this goes down here. Oh, I was like, oh no! Yeah, this goes in the bottom. That's going to work good. That's going to work perfectly. So now we need to make, before I do all the other stuff to this, I need to make another one just like this. Let me see if I'm missing any comments. My neck gets really tired from looking down. Absolutely 100% comprehend everything. Yep. So one night, we got busted doing something. I forgot what. I got busted doing something in basic. And Chelsea did too. So they gave us sandbag duty. They had us out there in the damn sand pits, filling sandbags. Well, that's what we were supposed to be doing. Funny thing though. Again, we filled sandbags for about half an hour, and there wasn't nobody out there watching us. So we ran off to the PX again, and got cheeseburgers. Guys, I was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Such a bad private. Oh my God. It was absolutely a horrible private. Alright, so we want this to fit up in there. I guess we're gonna put our end on first, that way we can get a better measurement. So we'll start that process. Go ahead and get our end cut. put our lug on here. Only running one lug actually, because the other end goes into the amplifier, so there's that. I may have cut that a little bit deep. Let's see here. What am I doing? Oh, right. You ever walk in there to the kitchen and open up the refrigerator and just stand there and look at it going, why did I come in here again? Yeah, that's the story of my freaking life. Alright, slip that on there. Pull this off and right away put this lug on here so I don't accidentally brush it and knock some wires out of place. I usually go with it a little bit long. I want them wires to go deep down up in there. Let's turn around here and to the crimping section. And we'll go do a crimp. Over here to the crimping section. Yeah. So this is my Tempco crimper. If you're looking for a good crimper, I cannot say enough praises about this one. It is fabulous. I think I had that set a little bit too small. I need some light. Let me get my light over here. I think I crimped a 4 gauge with it the last time, so out of adjustment. But you guys will kind of see what I'm doing here. So on the other side you can't see, there's a marker for 0 gauge, and I'm just getting it on that marker close enough, because it's not an exact science. Let's see if I can, yeah, all the good times. And where did I put the wire at? Here it is. So this crimper pushes a pin into the thing, and you're supposed to put the pin on top because it makes a little cross for positive and a slash for negative. I don't. I put the crimp on the bottom, put the pin on the bottom, and this is how we do it. Hopefully my screws hold. I'll do 2 crimps instead of 1 because thorough. And then you can see it pushes in on the bottom, and it really creates a solid crimp that is super duper clean when you get done. So I'm a big fan of this crimper. There's no dies to lose. It just does the job. And look how pretty that is. Super. It makes this nice kind of a V shape up here. I love this crimper. I don't remember what they cost, but it's $100-ish. But man, it does a great job. Let's see what we're going on here. Got some people. Yo, how much to make me a box? I'll talk about that in the chat. By the way, how can I get rid of port noise? Bigger port, yes. That's correct. Your port's too small. You got too much velocity. Okay, because I just got a slot port today from this small box for my Memphis Mojo. Now I'm going to test it out, okay? If you bought a box off of like Amazon, it's gonna be tuned way too high. Sorry, but you're probably not gonna like that. What's this one say? My last box was for 2 Jensen audio, so it had port noise. Yeah, it would. It'll be tuned way too high and the ports will be way too small. What I suggest, since I'm not like living next door to you, and I'm not a, no, polyfill wouldn't help. I'm not a box designer expert. I have a couple of friends that do really good work, but what I would suggest is that you go over to GP Car Audio and look at their true spec boxes and see if they got one with the same specs as the sub that it's made for, the same specs as the sub you have,
or if they have one designed specifically for that sub, because it'll be perfectly designed to fit your sub, and it'll give you the best performance you're going to get. And those boxes are glue it and screw it, so you'll get it in a flat pack. I think, well, I can't remember if they ship the true specs or not, full assembled, but I can't remember. But either way, if they ship it as a glue it and screw it, then you get it in a flat pack, meaning all the pieces of wood are cut and everything. All you have to do is glue it together, glue it and screw it. It's in the name. And you'll be happy with that design. That's what you want. If they have a box that, for a sub that has similar TS perimeters to the sub that you have, it'll be great. And if you really want to get technical about it, you can comment and request a box design and build for your sub. If you include the sub type and all that, what it is exactly, they can build you one specific for your sub and ship it to you. You're going to get a good quality product that way. That's my suggestion. Now, did I put this on the right wire? Oh yeah, I did, because I had to cut the other end off. Just thought I might be losing my mind again. It's usually lost. I just have to kind of put out an APB, you know, all ports bulletin. Mine lost. If you see it, approach it very carefully because it could be dangerous. And do not feed it after midnight or get it wet, because that can end badly for everybody. All right, let's get this sucker cut to match the other one. That went well. Now we should have two identical wires here. And they're not identical at all. What did I do wrong? I am using the right two wires. Yeah, I need to fix that. But let's see which one I need to fix. I think it's the one I just made. Because one's about 1/4 inch longer than the other one. So which one is it that needs to be fixed? This one goes here and here. Yeah, that's going to work, but it's going to be tight. So this other one, they're going to both work. Yeah, they're both going to work. Okay. All right. I cut that one a little bit short, apparently. But we'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We're not going to tell anybody. No one will know. We're about to get done making these wires, man. That's a hell yeah. I've got so much more to do on this project, but we're going to get these wires done tonight. My phone was probably hammered dead. It wasn't full when I went live. Now, this one, I forgot the top ones, now we're doing the bottom ones. This is going to be perfect. Perfection. Perfect perfection. Mad Dog. Who? Yeah, I think I got, when I was doing the sandbag, I think I actually got caught smoking on that one. I think that's why. Everybody called me Smokey Bear after that. That was my nickname. Smokey Bear. What's crazy is, even though I was smoking all through basic, I still managed to run my 2 mile in was less than 15 minutes. It was like 1440 or something like that, which is really good. That's a little over 7-minute miles for a smoker. At that point, this is not the right one, but at that point, I've been smoking for like 7-8 years. And I was smoking throughout basic too, so the fact that I was able to run just over 7-minute miles, 2 7-minute miles back to back, it's pretty impressive. I remember on my PT test, my final one, I did 52 sit-ups and did 52 sit-ups and like 48 push-ups in 2 minutes. So I wasn't, no triathlon or nothing like that, but I got the job done. I'm gonna tell you, man, I tried to quit when I got in the basic. I tried to quit. I did. But oh my God, I was jonesing so freaking hard. And then of course they try your nerves. They're all up in your grill, yelling at you, stepping on your feet, stomping at you and doing stupid crap trying to get a rise out of you. And all of that just made me want a cigarette that much more. So yeah, I wasn't able to pull it off, but I did try. This is a little bit longer, so I'm going to cut this one. These are actually, I'm going to trim it off a little bit so that it doesn't stand out as much. It's not quite red, but it's close. It's orange. Install bay. I'll put the logo on the bottom. And nobody will know. Because you guys are keeping the secret. Now these install bay ones are not near as good of quality as the ones I've been using. They'll work for this. Most of the logoed heat shrinks don't have very much glue in them, and they're thinner. These that come in this box are really thick and they have a lot of glue in them, and they work really, really good. That's why I said for 10 bucks, buy yourself 2 or 3 boxes of those and call it good. You're going to be totally happy with that. Let me check the comments real quick and see if I'm missing anything. Even if we're still live. Okay. Phone hadn't died yet. What's going on here? Let's see. Carpet pad. Polyfill. Yep. Scan view hard. Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. So sorry. Yeah, you got hurt, man. And those guys need to be beat down. Joe Berserker said polyfill only makes the box sound 10% larger. It's a crapshoot. Now it's not going to help your port noise, not really. Carpet pad, not so much, man. Stereo shots are 50-50. Carmel seems honest. Oh, you're local. Yeah, Carmel's a straight up dude. Okay, so you're close. Joe Berserker is very close, 70 miles away. Yeah, Carmel is the bomb. But I wouldn't mention him unless you're in the area because he don't travel or anything. Carmel Car Audio, if you go there, he's going to take care of you and do the best you can possibly get done. Any type of insulated material works for standing waves, just to slow it down. Gotcha. You guys are working out that. Thanks, Joe, for covering for me there. Trying to help him out with his problem. Yeah, that port noise is the thing, man. All right, we're done. We made both of them. Let's do a test fit here.
So that goes there, and this one can go right here, fit like that. Oh, okay. Okay. Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Hell yeah. Bob's your uncle. Let's get you guys a better view. You gotta stand where I stand, so that kind of limits what I can do. Those two will go in the middle, or thereabouts. So these two will go right here. These two will go, say, up there. Alright? Like so, on the top. And these guys go to this amp here. So they'll go like this. Right? They'll go like this. And like this. And I'm just kind of mocking this up. They'll go down to that amp, and then the other two will go down below them. That's kind of what it's going to look like. It's going to be freaking killer. Ooh, son. It sucks getting old, man. It really sucks getting old. It sucks so bad. Every day's a challenge. Everything, the things that used to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Now they're super hard and extreme inconvenience. Like putting on a pair of shoes. Kick your butt. What noise mainly from turbulence at the opening? Yep, let's see here. I'm trying to keep up the chat, but it disappears. That's why you see the port ends rounded and smoothed off. Yeah, doing flares on your ports will help with port noise. But they don't fix a badly designed box. If you design the box properly, you get the port velocity right to start with, the flares only help. They make it even better, but they don't have to fix the problem. It's not going to make any noise without flares. Like, I don't have any flares on my box at all in my subs. I have zero port noise. And it's because the damn thing is designed right. If I had been a better craftsman, I would have incorporated flares, roundovers and stuff. But I'm not that good of a craftsman, so I just had a really good person who really is good at designing boxes look my design over. Now, I already come up with a design. Funny thing that I used, what was it, Basebox something. It ain't Basebox Pro, it's some free version online. You can do, like, I did 4 subs, but it doesn't let you like position them or anything. It's just a real basic calculation. But I created the port and the amount of subs and the air volume in the enclosure. And then I rearranged it all to fit what I wanted it to look like in the front. And I drew all that up on paper and got all the dimensions down, and I sent them to my buddy. And he ran the whole design through his software and tweaked it and come back with a few minor changes. Like, I think we shrunk the port by 1/2 inch sideways. And that's about it. The design was really, really good. He said the design that I sent him would actually work fine, but he said if I tweak this just a little bit, it'll be even better. So we wanted his altered version, and that's what's in the Tahoe right now. So getting someone who knows how to design an enclosure to at least look at your design or to design it from scratch is going to be a big plus for you. But if you can't do all that, go to GP Car Audio and look at the true spec boxes. You're going to get a real enclosure from them, and it'll be built specifically for the TS parameters of specific subs. Most of the stuff they build is for sundowns and duck bonts and stuff, but
If you know the TS parameters of the sub that you have, and it's close, pretty close to the TS parameters of the one that box is built for, it's going to work well. And they're going to get a box that you could park your car on top of. When you use port area on small size players, definitely help, yes. And that car audio app is really cool, you're right. But that's not what I used. I used a different thing on the computer. I don't use my phone for a whole lot of stuff. But it's like Basebox Pro or Subbox Pro or something like that. If you Google free subwoofer box designers, it'll be like in the first 1 or 2 links that you see. And that's what I go to. You can put up to 4 subs and it'll do a ported enclosure. And that's it. It just puts the subs in one spot, kind of makes it look all weird, but the numbers are pretty good. So if you have nothing else to work with. All right, what's Jason said? Yeah, I agree with you, Jason. I already read part of that. Let me go back and pull that up. Jason said, I like buying a prefab box that is oversized. I seal it off and add my own cylindrical port. It's pretty cheap, so I can change the port length and try out different tuning. Absolutely. Excellent advice. Buying an oversized, that's an oversized sealed enclosure. If you're wanting to play lows, really good, using a slightly larger chamber is going to emphasize your lows, but it's also going to potentially unload your driver. So you have to watch you got to set your high pass on your sub so that your sub isn't trying to play too low, too loud, or else you'll unload it, have it mechanically hitting it, breaking stuff. But as long as you mind that, you can go with an enclosure that's like a half a cube too big, and you'll really get more lows at less power. But again, if you're stuck buying, something that's the wrong box for the sub and buying off of Amazon, you're kind of screwed, man. It's one of those expensive mistakes, and there's just not a whole lot you can do about it. You can use a DSP to tweak it and get a little more out of it, but you're going to wind up blowing the sub if you try to push too much out of something that's not designed for it. It's sad. But get you some plywood and find someone who can design a box for you and build your own box. That's what I did. I built my shit out of recycled crap. Jason said, I gotta go. Talk to you guys later. Peace out, Jason. And I'm about to get off of here too. I have got more work to do, and I hung out with you guys for a long time, but I need a break, and I need to sit and look at it and think about it and figure out my next plan. So I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me tonight, and be sure and slam that subscribe button, because we do random crazy stuff, and it is what it is. Follow the spill, what we're doing back here. It's gonna be pretty cool, and it's gonna be louder than it was before, and it was already doing a 152 on the glass, on music. So good times. Jason said he was going to bail, but then he didn't. He's still here. Good times. All right, guys. I'm going to boogie, though, once I figure out how to do this. Peace.